Hey, it's the podcast guy.
Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast.
And there it is! Sutton United of the GM Vauxhall Conference have put out First Division Coventry City, winners of the FA Cup themselves less than 2 years ago. And what a moment to enjoy for the fans of this Surrey side. They've had their moments before, but never one like this. But the whistle goes down. Delight for Sutton United. Sutton United from the National League are through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. No longer English football's perennial non-league club. A 123-year crescendo reaches a new peak for Sutton United, who are promoted to the Football League for the first time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's a Sutton podcast in association with Lucky Star Gin. If you are a regular listener, thank you. Welcome back. If you're a new listener, what a wonderful season to join us, as I've said a couple of times now, promotion winning season. Anyway, I'm your host, Mike, and joining me today, we have a couple of joint Maris Pipers. Sorry, hang on. No, a couple of co-commentators. Come on. Right. For any of those aforementioned new listeners, that's about as good as it's going to get. So thanks for stopping by, and we'll see. Sorry to see you go. We love hearing from you. Join the conversation. Stay connected with us. Share us your thoughts. Give us an at on socials at Sutton Podcast, and obviously big shout out to everyone who does that already. You really, really do help the show grow. We're going to start with Carl. Well, both of you are sporting the brand new lavender kit. We'll start with the one who was, shall we say, forced to buy it. There's serious inverted commas there. Carl, how are you?
I'm all good, thank you, Mike. I'm all good.
Yeah? How's your arm after it being twisted so much by Vicky to buy the shirt?
My skin's healing nicely.
And Paul, how are you yourself? And looking great in the shirt again.
Yeah, good, mate. Thanks. Yeah, just came back from Menorca from holiday, so and then back for the first home game of the season. And well, I would love the shirt. It's great, isn't it? I mean, nice concept, great idea, great vid, a nice bit of kit.
Yeah. I was. I did have a few words with young Megan, the goalkeeper, looking so sort of awkward in her strutting around the lavender. She was like, "I was told not to smile. I was told no smiling allowed." But yeah, no, great video, really, really nice, and it is a nice kit. I love the way we kind of have fun with the third kit. Now it's a bit sort of a nice nod to the local-ish area. And I know you sort of
Compare ourselves to Forest Green now in the old kit.
Well, Paul did have a little bit of a comment about, isn't it, Carshalton? But then he did some research. This is a conversation he had with himself, all within about 5 minutes on the group chat.
I like to think I'm a bit on top of local history, and I thought, hang on a sec, it's a great idea, but isn't it Carshalton lavender? But actually, when you look at it up, it was all over Sutton as well. So yeah, and so I shut up on the WhatsApp group. Shut myself up, in fact.
But they're always the best conversations when you have with yourselves.
Unfortunately, he had it with a whole group of people, but it was only himself responding and everything. But it was fun. Right, couple of quickie things. The coaches, there's a few different coaches over the next few weeks. Obviously, it's not going to be that relevant for right away, but obviously there's some long trips coming up. So make sure you get into the fan zone and book your coaching. Off the top of my head, I did have the email somewhere while I was organised earlier, and then I forgot to write it down. So I think they're like 60 quid, Gateshead and Halifax and Barrow. And I've just found the email. Let's have a look. Gateshead 60 quid, leaves the car park at 9:45. It's a Friday fixture, by the way. So you'd have to remember that one. Barrow 60 quid, that's in September, and that one leaves nice and early, 6 a.m. And Halifax is also a 6 a.m. start, and it's also 60 quid. So coaches coming up, they'll give me some numbers in the next few weeks, I hope. And the other thing, I just put it out earlier on. She's just announced it. There's no other way to describe it. But Mad Sarah, who a few years ago now, cycled to all the away games for the men's team while we're in the Ishmael League, has decided she's going to do the fundraising effort for the women's team, and she's cycling to all the away games. And worked it out earlier, and it's about 520 kilometers, which is around 320 miles. And I've just worked out, I don't know why it took me so long to work it out, because 5 kilometers is 3.2 miles. So I don't know why that took me so long to work out the miles on that. But yeah, it's about 320 miles she's cycling across the season to the away games, which is insane. And all the money is going to go to the ladies team. She's very keen to point out it's not the running of the ladies team, it's the extra bits they need to go to the next level. So she's very keen to say, the club is covering costs. It's just these are extra things as well. So if anyone can sponsor it, please do so. All the details are on. I'll include them in the show notes, and I will also. They've also been on the tweet. I'm sure I'll mention it again a few times. But to the match, very different conversation to the Woking game. Woking had a 3-0 win, lots of pace, goals, and everything looked really, really exciting and lovely and all the rest of it. And yesterday, it seemed like a stuttering game. But Paul, last week, it showed that we can win well. This week, it showed that we can win not so well. What did you think? Were we good, or were Altrincham bad, or is it just two teams struggling already?
Yeah, it's a little bit. The phrase "win ugly's" been thrown about a little bit, hasn't it? I think Altrincham didn't look a threat at all, and I think that was on us. Aggie, in his preview show, said that he recognised the way they play and the formation they play, and he was very comfortable about playing against that. And actually, post-match, he shied away from being disrespectful, but he pretty much said we had him in the pocket. So it didn't look like they had much, but actually we didn't particularly have much either. It felt like both sides snuffed each other out a little bit, and it was just some key moments in front of goal. But the press looked good, and we were rewarded with that with the goal. So win ugly, but you can't complain, can you? 2 wins, no goals against.
That's absolutely right. I mean, Carl, what were your thoughts on the game? I realised I said 2 teams struggling. I don't mean they were struggling overall. I mean struggling to play football in yesterday's conditions. But how did you feel about it, Carl?
Yeah, no, turn the tables around a couple of months ago. We were giving goals away like that, because we was pressed, trying to play out from the back. Obviously, only happened once with us yesterday, but Bez should have scored at the post from the same thing. So we've improved that, but it wasn't the greatest of spectacles. And I think I asked Aggie on the managers is can we win ugly? And that proved yesterday that it wasn't an ugly performance, but it was we scored relatively early in the first half, and we held on, especially towards the end. But I say held on, apart from 2 crosses, maybe 3 crosses that Spike had to deal with, they had nothing up front. I think they one of those huff and puff performances, and they couldn't even blow the house down. So, but it was a different performance from the Woking. We watched Woking on TV, so rather than travelling, unfortunately. But they played with a bit more freedom when they were one or 2 up. And I think we struggled to replicate that yesterday. Once we went 1 up, we couldn't flow passes together. But that will come. I think. So yeah, definitely 2 good wins, 2 clean sheets, and start the season as you mean to go on.
Yeah, I mean, you used the phrase there, winning ugly, and why it's important is they're definitely the type of games last couple seasons, we would have probably lost at some point, or we would have found a way to lose. I've been quite open with one of my hopes for the season is to be able to come to matches and expect the win rather than expect how are we going to manage to lose this today. So, Carl, I mean, you've touched on it there, but how important is it going to be for a successful side to just win, just churn out the wins, pick up the points, whether it's a spectacle or not? As fans, will we want to just grind out the wins, or do we? I know we all want it to be beautiful, but would we take the title right now if we were to grind out 1-0 wins for the rest of the season?
100%. Every fan wants to be bedazzled with 3, 4, 5-0 wins, etc. But I would be happy if we won every single game 1-0. played 46, won 46, 46 goals scored, zero conceded. You know what I mean? It's if you have, the teams who go out and play pretty football tend to concede a lot of goals, and that's what we did last year. We wanted to play pretty football, control possession, play out from the back, and that didn't help us. My father-in-law came to the game yesterday. It doesn't come to many games, but one of the comments that stuck by me from him is that he found that we played the ball long a lot more yesterday.
Yep.
From previous games last season, and I said to him that having been to the end of the season presentation, been to the meet the manager and some of the preset, and obviously speaking to Chris in and around the club, they're gonna play different styles of football against different teams. And he said it in his pre-match. They've studied Altrincham, they studied Woking 3 or 4 times. So that he's adapting our style of play, and I think we'll see a lot different variations in formations and starting lineups dependent on the team we play.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, Paul, you might not believe this from what he said, but Carl isn't an Arsenal supporter from the 90s. He's a Man United supporter from the 90s. So you'd expect him to be saying he wants the 4-3 football, but instead he's going with your friends, the 1-0 George Graham football. How do you feel? How important is that for a National League side to just grind out those results, even if they're not firing on all cylinders?
Well, thanks for bringing up league football, Mike. I've just seen my team come from leading 2-0 and then drawing 2-2. West Ham throwing it away again. But, we had 2 seasons, didn't we, where we were just losing home game after home game. If it was close, there was always going to be one team who's going to score at the end or get the breakthrough. And that's, there's only so much of that you can watch. So it's great that we can grind out those results. It's great that we've got options. Definitely you could see it out there yesterday, absolutely, that we look to play it out the back, but equally we look to play long as well. And with Spike Brits' distribution, which wasn't his best yesterday, but it's still pretty good. I think that gives us a real bow to our arrow. It's some options there. So yeah, would I take a 1-0 grind for 23 games? As you said, Mike, I was on comms yesterday, and by about 60 minutes, I was talking about lavender shirts and the history of lavender. So yeah, I struggled with it.
You weren't talking about the cat, like what's his name, Danny Murphy. I was on the World Cup talking about his cat. Bizarre. It's a bit of a joke, but I sort of asked Aggie after literally a 2-second conversation. I was like, happy? And he sort of, yeah, but lots to work on. In a way, with him being not overly happy, and us, as you said, we're sitting 6 points, 4 scored and none conceded. How much does it please you? How much does it excite you to think, Paul, that we've got more to come?
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Absolutely great. Yeah, and I got that sense as well from Aggie's post-match that pleased with the defensive performance, but yeah, held back a little bit on how we're going forward and some of the opening and some of the work that, there. But yeah, lots to improve on. But yeah, great, isn't it? That's great.
And Cole, what do you think on the idea that we've got more to give, and everyone knows there's more to give, and they're working on it?
Yeah, when it's only second game of the season, you've always got more to give at the start of the season. More energy, etc. But you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. But didn't we lose our manager last year because we had 5 points come beginning of October? We've got 6 now in the first 2 games. So it's a step in the right direction. Aggie came out of the one of the cabins, the prayer cabin or whatever, and I made a joke about him last minute prayers before he went home, and he joked and said anything, he'll try anything. So he might not be the happiest of managers after 2 wins out of 2, but he knows as well as most management that it can turn pretty quickly. So I wouldn't read too much into his downplaying of the performance. I think he would be definitely happy with it. especially the fact that we kept 2 clean sheets in 2 games. And when was the last time we did that? We struggled to keep clean sheets last year, and the year before that maybe. So
I think Dan from Gandemonium, I saw it earlier on. I haven't had a chance to check it up, so he could be lying for his teeth. Let's just say that here. I think he said it was 2024 was the last time we had back-to-back clean sheets. I'm not 100% sure if it was with both wins or.
So back-to-back wins is in February. I think I saw a tweet from the social media team. The last time they went back-to-back wins was in February last year. So it's got to be that's got to be the clean sheets that then.
Yeah. So, but we did, and you both mentioned it. We scored the kind of goal that we are very used to seeing at Gander Green Lane over the last couple of seasons, except it was in the correct goal this time. How satisfying was it seeing that kind of mistake from someone else, or do you feel for the Altrincham fans because they did it again last week as well? Do you not care? Talk me through the goal. Did Temi press, or did the keeper just pass it to him?
At the time, I didn't really understand what had happened, and just fell to Temi's feet and played a ball. But I've seen it on the highlights today. Temi didn't even move. The goalkeeper passed it literally to his feet. He didn't even have to step aside, side to side or anything like that. He didn't move. Am I pleased? Yes. It's almost like that penalty shot. You're happy if it goes for you, disappointed if it goes against you. I feel for the Altrincham fans because we experienced it a lot last year. But you win some, you lose some. You take it when it's handed to you on a plate, and thankfully we did.
Yeah, I mean, Paul, again, same question, but adding a tiny little bit to that is his awareness and sense, because a lot of strikers would have just got the ball and think, "Whoa, I'm shooting," and also a lot of people would have seen Jermaine in the middle screaming for the ball and gone, "Well, I'll give it to him then if I'm not going to shoot." But then he's managed to pick out Dave on the other side. So how pleased were you that we scored a goal that we usually concede, and Temi's awareness of who to pass it to?
Yeah, I think I agree with both of you. I think, I mean, we earned it a little bit, didn't we? We were pressing, and he was there, but I agree that he was on the back foot. And the keeper, we definitely had our eye on that keeper. He made a mistake against the Southend in Altringham's first game. He looked shaky all game, so I wouldn't be surprised it was something they targeted. So we were hovering around there without him being all over him. But it was, he just curled it straight into his path, didn't he? And as you say, decision making at that crucial time. He could have made the wrong decision, and we wouldn't have scored. But picked him out, and even the goal, slotted it in nicely, kept his calm head, and 1-0, and nice to see it go our way for a change.
Yeah, and Dave didn't decide to do his little backflip routine. I think he knew Rosie was there and she would be criticising every single part of it. So he
wanted to change it up.
Did he?
I asked him where the flip was, and he was like, "Oh, we've got to change it up."
Yeah, he's got to change it up because he's going to injure himself at one point. He tries doing that in the middle of November or something, he's going to just slip, and that's it. Oh, he's out for a month. But 2 games, 2 totally different performances. Which one do you think tells us more about this Sutton side, Paul? Do you think it's the free-flowing win or the grinding out win, or as Carl already said, it's only 2 games. It's a bit too early to tell us which is best.
Yeah, I'd like to think 6 games. I'll be thinking. I think I'd make a decision on that. I mean, have we played 2 mid teams? That's so you can't complain. 2 solid results, but are they against 2 mid teams? And what are we like against the top 8? And we've talked about different styles of play. So let's have a look at more of that, and the consistency as well. Can we play consistently well in our different styles of play against some of those top sides and some of those middle sides? So it's a lot of questions for me still. But what I've seen, a lot of commitment. They look organised. They look energised. Know what they're doing. And it looks like they've gelled well as well. And there's no doubt. I mean, Nightingale was an absolute class act out there, and some of that's him, of course. But you do wonder whether actually the coaching guys had got their act together, had nailed it, and he had a job to do, and the system meant that he was able to sweep up and just do what he does so well. So a good team effort, I think. But let's a few more games before I'm running around thinking about championship trophies.
All right, Carl, yourself, and does either of the game tell you more, or again, is it want to wait and see a little bit? Because as Paul said, I mean, I said it last week. We don't know. That Woking game could have been brilliant, but we don't know. They could be the worst team in the league, and everyone else starts battering them 8-0. What are your thoughts at the moment? Which performance tells us most?
Yeah, no, look, I totally agree with Paul. I normally leave 10 games before you start looking at the league, because especially in this division, you've got we've got 8-9 new players. Altrincham and Woking have got a lot of new. Woking especially have got a lot of new players. You know, so teams have got to gel. I felt that I was disappointed in Woking. And I felt that the Jermaine Defoe factor leaving a week or so before the beginning of the season sort of gave it a bit of a false reality, if that makes sense, you know. But then they went and lost yet again yesterday, so it's hard to tell. I would give it 10 games, but the one thing I would be more confident on in having that belief is the defensive qualities that we've got now. Will Nightingale was a beast at the back. Alex Kirk has come back. Dan Erpins looks like he's not even an 18-year-old. He looks like he's been playing in the league for 5, 6, 7 years, you know. So defensively, we look a lot stronger. I felt there was maybe 1 or 2 occasions in the Woking game, and I don't remember recording Spike doing anything special yesterday, is that we're cleaning it up before it gets into the box. And when it does go into the box, Will made a couple of blocks yesterday. I think he made a mistake and then recovered, where last year that was never happening. Mistakes were happening and you weren't recovering, you weren't cleaning up. So I wouldn't be singing with the crowd yesterday that we're going to win the league or we're top of the table, etc. just yet. I'll give it a few more games before I start joining in, but it's a positive start. That's all you can say.
Right. Well, you've both mentioned the next subject I was going to talk about anyway. So Will Nightingale. Are we seeing why he was signed, and has he already become one of the first names on the team sheet? So I'm going to skip that part, and I'm going to talk about Spike. I mean, how
just
good?
Go back to Will for a second, Mike, because I don't know whether you listen to the National League Lowdown podcast. But when we signed Will Nightingale, Dan Takes On Football said that if Will Nightingale hadn't have signed for Aldershot last year, they would have gone down. And he is proving that comment true in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
But
right, isn't he?
Yeah.
Both of you have already.
And he was talking. You could hear him all game, shouting, talking
everyone through it.
Before Jake went off and he was at the captain armband, he was talking, you know, shouting, screaming, hollering. You know,
both games.
Protect blocks, organise the line, aerially dominant. He's a real deal, isn't he?
Yeah. And both games he's taught more how to deal with a mistake. Everyone makes a mistake, especially at this level. You're going to make a mistake, but straight away back, sort it out. No kind of I've made a mistake. But what I was going to say about Spike is, wouldn't it be great if we got to the end of the season and we still didn't know if Spike was a good goalkeeper or not? Because of our defence, we still would be like, well, I think he's great, but we've never really had to see it. But Carl, stick with you for a second. We lost Jake. You mentioned when Jake came off. Will took over. We lost Jake towards the end of last season. That would have been, for God's sake, we're going to fall apart. So we've got the lead 1-0, and then 20 minutes later, Jake goes off. But obviously, love Jake, and Aggie said very clearly in the interview, I think Aaron said, was that tactical? I would never take Jake Taylor off for a tactical decision. But we didn't miss him in the nicest sense of the word. We didn't need or sit there or give anything away and go, if only Jake was on the pitch. So how important is that going to be to us, Cole, that we're not relying on Jake dragging everyone through?
You don't win a league or a promotion with 11 men on the pitch. It's all about having a squad, you know. And I think you mentioned it there that last year, that's the whole reason Chris brought him in is because he wanted that solid, knowledgeable player that he's a step ahead of everyone else, you know. And I'd agree with you to an extent that we didn't miss him on the pitch yesterday. Musa's come on and he's, to be fair, the first couple of games he's shown what he can do. No disrespect to him, but I felt that he did give the ball away a few times yesterday that put us on the back foot. Obviously, didn't result in anything, but we missed him in phases of that game. So his presence is still required on the pitch, I think personally. But once again, 10, 15 games down the line where we have those games where he may need a rest or two.
Yeah,
we've got people that can come on and do a job.
Yeah. Paul, your thoughts?
Yeah, when I think of Taylor, I think of it's like losing Eastie. I think it feels to me when Eastie wasn't playing, usually being suspended, of course. I think you did notice it, and I think for this game I didn't think so, but I think we would be found out a little bit. I mean, his football intelligence is great, the leadership, the experience, you know, it's and he's so competitive, and yeah. I think, and I don't know for the dynamic of the team itself. I don't know. You know, I think he's probably one of those leaders in there. A lot of the players look to him, and if he's out for any long spell, then it can't be good for us. But yeah, do we know what's up to him?
He said his groin. I think.
Groin,
Yeah, he didn't seem overly concerned, did he, Carl? It was like, yeah, just my groin, and he didn't seem like he wasn't hobbling too much afterwards. So it might just.
Yeah, I think it's a bit like what Charlie Carter's done. It's just a tweak, but better to be safe than sorry, because groins can be one of those ones where it can...
Exactly. He's got the option to replace him now, so don't force him to do anything like that. I mean, another one, Temi. I want to talk about Temi. I don't think he took very kindly to my my little bit of advice after the match is you've got to be a tiny bit more subtle when you're bouncing the centre-backs around. You can't just charge into them. And he was like, right. But how nice and how great is it, Paul, to have that presence up front that's going to hold up the ball, going to win the ball, and get people worried about him being up there.
Yeah, he's a presence, isn't he? He can occupy defenders, that's for sure, and hold it up. A little bit of Omar Bagil about him, I think, and that's very useful, isn't it? It'll be interesting to see him with different players around him. We've seen a few different players, so it'll be interesting to see how that changes his game depending who he's with. I think it's too early to see at the moment, but yeah, he looks a handful.
Yeah,
he gave away a foul yesterday, and he had two of them on his back apparently. So I don't know how you give a foul away with two of them all over you. But
that's what he's like. Smith. He's big. He's a big unit. Yeah. The defender goes down. It's like, oh, it must be a foul. But Carl, how pleased are you to see? I mean, your father-in-law mentioned we've gone long more times, but that's possibly because we've got someone up there who Aggie trusts is going to win it. But how do you feel about that presence up front?
Yeah, no, days are gone where you've got the 4-4-2 and you've got the big unit up top. You know what I mean? It's one of those ones where you can't walk the ball in the back of the net in the National League. You've got to be flexible and he's definitely that option. You know, he can win the ball in the air. He showed against Horsham. He's got some tricks in his locker that he knows how to finish a simple tap in or a flash overhead kick. Yeah, I think there was a couple of long balls where he lost it and got frustrated with himself, and you could see it because he was charging it down. So where in years gone by you got Omar Bugel was one of the always guaranteed a yellow card because he was putting himself up there. But then we went to the smaller Matt Rush. I know he's knocking goals left, right and centre, but Matt Rush, Ashton Addison, those types of players where you just don't have that physical presence at the top, so teams back fours aren't worried. So now hopefully in the next couple of weeks, teams are going to start preparing for him. And like Paul said, who can you get around him? Is it going to be Samuel? Is it going to be David Ogbonna? Is it going to be Brandon and Duco if he's fully fit? So it is a good weapon to have. You've got to use it. There's no one having a big unit like that and not putting balls in the back into the box. So,
well, like you just said, though, teams prepare for him. There's easily a case where Aggie might say, well, actually, it's not this game. We're going to start with Brandon and Jermaine, or we're going to change it up completely. I mean, I do think we could easily play a 4-4-2 because you've heard Aggie say that teams aren't used to that now. Teams aren't used to the balls just coming in and young defenders can't head it and all the rest of it. So we could suddenly have the big and the little and up front and see how we get on. On the little ones, Carl, top goal scorer so far this season, Dave. He came off the bench at Woking, scored a great goal. Started today, scored another great goal from his point of view. So Aggie changed the winning side, brought him in. How important is he going to be? I mean, some lovely comments about him as A, as a footballer and B, as a person from Aggie in the post match. And he's just such a diamond guy. He's always happy to talk to everyone and quite pleased. Well, not pleased, but we'll play along if you take the piss out of him a bit. But how important is he going to be for us, Cole, this season?
Yeah, him and Jermaine have surprised me in pre-season and at the start of the season about how much running they do. There's no lost cause, and they were chasing the keeper down. I don't know. Paul mentioned it earlier, but he's had a mistake or two in him, so maybe the management's plan was to put pressure on him, but they do so much running, and Dave fully deserving of his goal. At Woking, never gave up. Out-muscled Chinakoli, which I don't know how many 4'0" wingers are going to do that throughout the season. So hopefully he doesn't watch this.
Wow.
But and then yesterday he was under pressure. Still managed to find the back of the net with a nice little cushion finish. Nothing extravagant, but still a decent finish from his point of view. And if he scores 10, 15 goals, it all adds up. If Jermaine can get 10, 15 goals and Temi gets 10, 15 goals, that's
Sam, don't forget Sam.
Yeah, Sam, with his pace and his finishing ability, that's what 60, 70 goals we've got already, so that's just from 4 players. That's without Will Nightingale popping up with one or two, Bez, who's shown he can hit the back of it in pre-season. So, and the ability to score goals shouldn't have to come from just a striker.
No.
So, it would be good for strikers a key, Mark, wouldn't it? But,
It would be, but you got Charlie Carter and David Ogbonna is one of the strikers. So, yeah, it's all good. Yourself, Paul. He's kind of...
Yeah.
He's one of the people left over from the Morrow season.
I mean, competition for places. It does help, doesn't it? Really does help. And attacking options. I don't think we've said attacking options for a while, have we, for this? I think it's very exciting. And if they're pushing each other, then that can only be good for the team.
And we've kind of all hinted here. We've said the different names and all the different options and things. Is it possible to know our strongest 11? Because at the moment, as Carl said earlier, it's going to depend on who we're playing and how we want to play against them. And you're not really looking at any of the options going, oh, why is he coming on? When a player comes on, you're like, all right, yeah, great, fair enough. And that includes the babies. As you said, Dan, you're not ever going to look at Dan Erpins and think, oh, why is he playing? You know exactly why he's playing. And he'll be moving around different places to make sure we've got him and his long throw. Talking about the long throw, obviously we're hugely biased. But did that referee seem to hurry him along quicker than other players, Paul, on the throw-ons?
I don't know. I didn't have a stopwatch out, but I thought it was quite funny that's the first. So he got the 5 fingers, as it were, and I don't know if it's in players' DNA that that to start to slow the clock down It's just natural to them. And despite the fact that his fingers were going down the referee, he couldn't run. He couldn't physically move any faster. This is what I do. And so it was quite funny when that got turned around. But
their player then picked up the ball and took significantly longer to take the throw on.
He did actually. Yeah.
Hang on, you should turn it around. Carl, did you think that the ref was speeding him along particularly more than everyone else?
Completely disagree with the concepts. You know, it happened throughout the World Cup, and my understanding of the rule is 5 seconds from the moment it's in your hands. You know, so it's to quicken it up. But then Chris made us aware in his Meet the Manager that it's down to the referee's discretion. Yeah. But I'm all for consistency. So when the referee gives us the 5 seconds, he's got to give them the 5 seconds, whether they're losing or not, and it's their time that they're wasting. It's consistency with the goal kicks, the corners, the throw-ins, everything. It's got to be down to consistency. So if the referee wants to give Dan Erpins the hurry up with the 5 fingers, that's fine. But then as soon as they get the ball for their throw-in, it should be exactly the same. I'm all for rule changes and experimenting, etc., etc. But if you're going to implement it on a consistent level, you know, not just with the referee in our game, with all the 12, 13, 14 referees throughout the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It shouldn't be a matter of opinion on a rule. It should be matter of fact. So...
Well, yeah, I mean, I can see it being... Because everyone sort of plays and does their own interpretation slightly differently. So I can see there have been discrepancies across different referees. Some will stamp out on this. I mean, when we had a Sunday League team, we had one referee who was just so keen on where the throw-in was taken. He'd let someone do a 2-footed challenge, but if you took the throw-in from the wrong place, he'd be blowing that whistle. But you got to know that particular referee's kinks. But it's within the same game, and in fact, within the same minute, there was one occasion where he'd hurried down along, and as I say, the other bloke took even longer, and he didn't even get a little, come on, let's speed this up.
That's probably because Altrincham were losing, so in his mind, he's probably thinking, this is your time, you know what I mean? But it shouldn't matter.
No, absolutely not. Right, we're going to move on ever so slightly. The Play Nimbus League, the fantasy football league that we're doing. Paul's sitting there frowning, but he knows what's coming. He's top of the league, joint top of the yesterday's match, alongside Robbie with 34 points. But yeah, you're top of the league. I think it's about 18 points at the moment or something like that. I can't remember. Hopefully I'll remember to put the table in and show everyone. But
if you could, Mike, yeah, that'd be good.
You know me, I probably won't. But you both picked David as captain, which was an excellent choice, obviously. You both picked Will. However, Paul, it does look like you've rather wasted your bonus chip. So you played one of your bonus cards of no negatives, and both those players got 0 anyway. So you kind of wasted it somewhat. So I've written here, no. I
mean, while I'm very proud of my position in top slot, that's probably largely on luck than judgment, and still working out the rules like most people are, probably.
Yeah. Because I didn't realise until this week, I think, that the goalkeepers don't lose points unless they've conceded more than one goal. I thought, well, why has their goalkeeper not lost points? And he's on 0 because I would assume one goal is expected. I don't know. But yes, well done, Paul. You're doing very well. We're all very pleased for you. Yeah, there's no bitterness at all. But hopefully I'll have the league table of the match and the overall. Carl, I don't think you joined it because you're...
I've got it. I did it for Woking. I missed it for the weekend, but I don't know how to join a league. So maybe on Tuesday when I come down, you can show me. You can show me how the app works.
Okay. Okay. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure about that myself. But yeah, it's fun, and there's a lot less work for me to do, so it's even more important. So, question: I don't know if I'm going to stick with this all the way through the season. I suspect it'll be how well we're doing before I drop this conversation. 6 points, 0 conceded, 4 goals scored, 4.34% of the season complete, Carl. Has these 2 games changed your expectations for the season, or are they still roughly the same? I know we were saying 1 game, 2 games. Has your expectation changed?
No. Expectations always playoffs, pushing for the playoffs. I like Chris. I've got a lot of time for him. We speak most times. I'm in the club, and I'm whether I'm gullible or whatever you want to call it. I strongly believe that he knows what he's doing. And when he tells us 100 points, 100 goals, 100 this, 100 that he obviously believes it. And the two games have somewhat gone towards my expectation that he knows what he's talking about, So I thought even the season we got relegated, it was always in my head. I was saying a rebuild process, 3 years, this and the other. From relegation, you got to rebuild because obviously the whole squad changed, etc.
Yeah.
But even then, I said you got to be pushing for playoffs, pushing for promotion. So the expectation at the beginning of the season was always pushing for playoffs. I've done a league predictor, and I put Sutton 6th. I didn't want to go top because I didn't want to embarrass myself. But 6th, I think. Pushing for the play. You made a joke of it, Mike. First season, top half of the table, mid-table, whatever. Last year was a bit disappointing. That we finished lower, just outside the relegation. But I think everyone after yesterday's performance would be thinking that we've got a real chance of promotion, and I would go along. I'll be on that train.
Excellent. So I'm going to come to you in a second, Paul, but follow up, Carl. At what point will you say it's a good start changing to actually we're pretty good?
10 games. If we're still in, I won't say top of the table, but if we're still in the playoff places after 10 games, I think that gives you a bit of an idea of how the league table's going to finish at the end of the season.
Fair enough. Paul, has your expectation changed? Oh, who's got ice cream? Has your expectation changed? And for you, when does a good start turn into you're a good team?
So pretty black and white in terms of where in terms of the budget are we in the league. So in terms of we've got nothing, have we? So that's what is that? Bottom 8, maybe something like that. So if we can finish above that, or maybe a bit higher than that. But if we can finish higher than that, then that's a good season because money talks. Can Chris Agate sweat this team, get the best out of them? Can the team get the best out of each other? Then definitely, I think so. Yeah, we can definitely go higher than what the budget would suggest we can do. And as Carl said, there's some big teams in there, but not as many as there has been in the past. So sniffing around the playoffs with a good manager, knows what he's doing, can get his point across. Players seem bought in, decent squad. Definitely. I mean, as we've seen before, January transfer window can influence a lot. But from what I see at the moment, I've got, I'm buoyed and definitely think we can sniff around the playoffs.
The players that have come in privately and publicly, they have said they haven't joined a mid-table side. They've not come here to finish mid-table. And again, it's a Sutton fan. It's a bit weird to people going, no, I've come here to win the title. And it's like, whoa. That's not how we do things here. It's all a bit odd for me at the moment. But just in case, I looked up about road closures and open bus tours and stuff. And apparently you've got planning about 5 or 6 months ahead. So just saying, Tim, if you're listening, you might want to put that form in for Sutton Council. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to do it yet, but 6 months. Right, next up, we've got the National League Cup. I will understand that everyone's got different viewpoints on this trophy. We're in it. We want to win it. Aggie wants to win everything. And there is money available. So, and I'm not coming round to it, but I'm understanding that even if this competition disappeared tomorrow, we're not going to get our FA Cup replays back. So we may as well just accept it. We're definitely going to be taking it more seriously than Hartlepool. But I probably won't be taking it overly seriously until we quarterfinals. I'd probably say quarterfinals is when I'm start going, oh yeah, we're going to win it. What are your views on the National League Cup, Paul? Want to talk about it or not?
Yeah, no, I hate every bone in its body. No, I've seen the counter arguments, and I do get it. There's cash there. Absolutely, that's lovely. There's an opportunity to play different players and blood different players, try different systems, and at this stage of the season, it's a competitive match, and let's get some rhythm going. But yeah. And I've drawn the short straw and I'm commentating on it, so I've got to sound vaguely enthusiastic. So,
is this little thing that you can just say I'm unavailable on these dates? Sorry.
I know. Yeah.
I've got EastEnders to watch.
It's my own fault. It's my own fault.
Probably one of the worst games to commentate on, really, because you don't know all the players. I did the Nottingham Forest one last year. They've got numbers on their backs, but you're looking at the team sheet going, which one is that one just come on?
Yeah. I mean, Leicester haven't even got the names of their players on their website. So, yeah.
Research is a bitch, isn't it?
It'll be like doing a pre-season trial list A. It's
going to be more chats about lavender, mate. That's what it's going to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. Carl, what's your thoughts on it, on the competition? And at what stage are you going to get involved?
I'll be there on Tuesday. It's another night out. Yeah. I was on the bandwagon in the first year, and maybe not so much last year because of the disappointment in the final and build up. But I agree with Aggie. You want to win everything. Winning breeds mentality. So as long as we don't get battered 7-0 like we did against Fulham in the first game, then I think everyone may jump on the journey. But if you get battered in the first game, it's just all down to the finances then. But like you say, every competition is a chance to do well. So Paul said about breading new players in, giving Chris a headache about Hartlepool on Saturday afternoon or Saturday lunchtime. Yeah. So, I think the rules state that so many players have got to play in the game that's going to start the previous or the next one. So it can be a headache for everyone, really.
But that's why he's deliberately said we're not doing that, but that's where Forest Green and Hartlepool, especially the other day, do stupid number of substitutions within the first minute or so, because those players technically start, but now they're off. But
he went to Lucy, didn't he? He dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah, I mean that
was to play the first 30 seconds. It was
that was
madness.
That one it is ridiculous, but as you said, we're in it, and because we're in it, the decision of whether we should go for it or not is kind of made because we're in the competition. So it's pointless to say we're not going to do it.
Yeah. It's Alex Kirk is a perfect example here, isn't it? How useful this is. That he's coming back. I'm not sure exactly how far back he is, but a game in midweek like this just perfect to get him back in the game.
And young Bello as well. He came on, so imagine he will get a full game. But moving on, we just discussed Hartlepool where they played it. I think it was like 3:00 on a Thursday or something stupid. That's how seriously they took it. But we're playing Hartlepool, and this looks like an already early, tasty, testy game. Paul, we've both played 1-2. We scored 4, they've scored 3. No goals conceded for either team. It's a 12:30 kickoff, everyone, because I was speaking to a couple of people yesterday and they completely didn't realise it was a 12:30 kickoff. So it's a 12:30 kickoff. Something has to go because we've both got 2 perfect league records, 2 perfect defensive records. So either we lose the perfect winning record and we both get a draw, or one of us is going to lose, or maybe both going to lose the in fact, I didn't even think of that. One of us is going to lose the no goals conceded. How big is this game? They've won 2-0 against Barrow and 1-0 against Aldershot. Again, Aldershot, we don't know what they're going to be like this season. A lot of people tipping them to go down. But what are you thinking about this game? Is it a first proper benchmark for us?
It's as we say, we said it's hard to tell, and we'd like to see more games, but it does feel, Hartlepool there or thereabouts, aren't they? And it does feel that this is a good test, a really good test. And also Aggie's talked about, you've got to get those home wins under the belt. Well, this is, we've had a good start, but these are the games where tough games, but you need a win under the belt if you're serious about what we've just talked about here about that top 7.
Yeah. And Carl, what do you think? I mean, this is probably the first team that that we're facing that people have tipped to be around that top 8.
Yeah, well, people have tipped Hornchurch to get relegated and Aldershot to do the same, and Hornchurch are 2 out of 2, and Aldershot were lucky. Well, they missed the last-minute penalty, didn't they? So against Hartlepool, but I agree with Paul. You've got to win your home matches. It is a test. Every game is probably going to be a test of our changing resilience. But it's got 0-0 written all over it, hasn't it?
Or 6-6.
Or am I being cynical?
It's 6-6. I mean,
I'm not going to be there, so I don't care.
Well, you will do if it's 6-6.
Yeah.
One little thing is Sam Falarin left Hartlepool, came to us.
So did Bez, Jermaine.
Yeah, but I think they've both played Hartlepool since, haven't they? Yeah, but they did. Last season. But Sam's first match against them, do you think he likely will get the nod because he want to be released against his old team and have something to prove, if you like? Or do you think that won't come into anyone's consideration, Carl?
All depends whether he plays on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's always a bit of a added adrenaline when you're playing your old team. And it all depends on how he left, because I think he was on loan. Was he the back end of last season? So I don't think he played for Hartlepool the back end of last season.
No.
Or I might be getting confused with someone else. But added adrenaline. It all depends on how he left. If he was on good terms, he might not be in that category. Unlike Jermaine, he left under different circumstances. So, but I think, knowing Chris as he is, I suppose he won't be picking Sam because it's Hartlepool. He'll be picking Sam whether he's had a good week's worth of training, whether he's key to his plan. But if I was picking the side, I'll probably give him a shout, give him the nod.
You just reminded me that Jermaine left Hartlepool and we were all warned. Oh, you've got a right lazy player there. We're watching him going, Jesus Christ! If he wasn't lazy, how much ground would he cover?
Yeah.
Paul, what do you think? Do you think it comes into it if a player's got a point to prove? Will Aggie be thinking of unleashing Sam, or would he be just like what?
Interesting. It's an interesting question. Isn't it? Probably one for the psychologist and for the manager for players and managers at this level. Marginal gains, is that a marginal gain? Probably different for different players in different circumstances. But as Carl said, out of everything and the reasons why you would pick a player, that's probably way down there, I would have thought.
Fair enough. That was a good subject, Mike. Well done. So Hartlepool, they've recruited well. I think DAZN picked them out as one of the best recruitment windows. I don't know how much that means, but they've recruited experience and size. Will this, Paul, prove or show how much more physical we're able to handle, and will it be a really good test of the physicality of this side? Yeah,
I think you're right, Mike. I think well, experience and size. We've got that as well, haven't we? So and I think we can definitely match. From what I've seen some of the highlights of some of the games. I think we'll match a lot of teams in both those categories. So bring it on.
Carl, what do you think of the experience and size battle? Will we finish?
You're just going to say the same as what Paul just said about that's what we've done. We've recruited experience, definitely. Size in Will Nightingale, Spike Brits is tall. Temi, I think they're all 6 foot plus. So I don't think you go into Saturday's game worrying what their attributes are. You're more confident what attributes you have to win the game. So, we've got a weapon in Dan Erpins' long throw. They may be able to defend it better than Altrincham did because of their size. So you come up with a different plan. But I don't think you worry about their attributes. You worry about your own.
Perfect. Okay, well, we're going to finish up. But before we do, neither of you have mentioned it, which is kind of a bit bad of both of you. I mean, it was in the programme. Nice little thing about Claire, saying thank you to Claire for all of her hard work. But there was a line in that programme where I just would like to bring to everyone's attention, and she brought back the shoebox trophy, the fans match, for teams managed by club legends. It said teams of supporters managed by club legends.
I would have mentioned it if they turned up on this on the podcast.
I just going to say I've managed one of those sides.
Yeah, but you lost. I won.
I still managed to side.
I was on the winning side, Mike. You lost.
That's not relevant to the conversation at all we're having right now.
Have you touched the trophy?
Huh? No, I haven't. I would like to say though, I had the yellow shirt and I was very tempted to stick it on and join in the celebrations, but I thought there'd be a bunch of people trying to kill me if I didn't.
That sounds like advertorial in the programme, Mike. I reckon you literally paid for it.
No. I don't. From talking to people, I don't think they had thought that through. I'm not sure anyone went, hang on a minute, Mike managed. Yeah, that's not right. But we're going to wrap up this episode on that bombshell. No, we're going to wrap up this episode of the Sutton Podcast. As always, we appreciate everyone's attention. The joke that has been endorsed by professional award-winning comedian Tim Vine. And I love your feedback. Get involved and give us the thumbs up on YouTube and the likes and the shares and all the rest of it. And we're going to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Lucky Sauce Gin, and a very big thank you to Carl and Paul, the commentators. Right, anyway. Thanks everyone for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Sutton Podcast. Take care and we'll catch up soon. Bye-bye.
United!